Hey there everyone, and welcome to another daily dose of Aether Raids. Today's video features this one prison map. This map is pretty interesting, but I think held back by the fact that the defense fortress is level 3. Structurally, there is a pretty big weakness in that you can send a 2-range flyer up the 3rd column over the lava tiles to take out the Tana, and then with a refresh from a flying refresher, such as Peony, you can just get everybody out to safety with no issues. Another thing you can do if you have a unit that can handle both Corrin and Tana on the enemy phase is to place a unit at the very edge of Corrin's range on the right-hand side. The interaction here is that Niffle will provide a rally to Corrin, then Corrin will attack. Triandra probably wins the refresh priority for going to refresh Niffle, and then Tana will be able to warp to the space to the right of the tactics room, since that is within 2 spaces of Triandra's new location after refreshing. Katria does have the Wedding Bell Axe, providing the warp power to Tethys, so Tethys will be able to warp to Triandra, and after that dizzying sequence of events, Tana will actually be able to attack your unit as well, just by moving 2 spaces straight down. If you don't want to have to deal with the Tana, but you can deal with an abundance of 2-range enemies, you can test the Bolt Trap over on the left-hand side below the Flyer School and place a strong tank below that. The Bolt Trap is far enough up that you should be able to test it while keeping your major tanks safe, and that will draw fire from at least Corrin and 1 refresher, assuming they all get taken out in 1 round of combat by your tank. And one of them, depending on how much damage they deal and the order of attacks, may go to refresh Niffle after Niffle provides the rally. All in all, though, you will only have to deal with the 2-range enemies. You won't have to deal with Tana. You will have to deal with triangle attack, though, so that's something to think about. But it shouldn't be that big of a deal. I mean, maybe Triandra, depending on your tank's color. But if you're prepared to deal with Corrin, it really shouldn't be that much of a problem. So those are the big weaknesses I see here, the big approach options. So let me go ahead and get into my clear now. I deployed the Sita team for this match. Now, unfortunately, I do have 2 levels of Fortress Advantage here, and a map can only be so difficult with 2 levels of Fortress Advantage. I did get caught off guard by a couple things. One was Air not being able to take out the Tana. I just kind of figured, Air's pretty solid offensively. I think she can do this, and then she couldn't. And then Niffle's speed caught me off guard a little bit too. So that was interesting, but again, with 2 points of Fortress Advantage, a map can only be so difficult. The adjustment I made for the Tana thing was to just break the tactics room instead and kick things off by having Sita tank the Corrin. And I also got a little surprised by the refreshing interaction on this upcoming enemy phase. So obviously Niffle kicked things off by rallying Corrin. But I was expecting Triandra to warp down to refresh Niffle, because, from here it kind of looks like Tethys is closer to my team than Triandra is. But that's actually not the case. Distance is calculated as a path, and Tethys can't traverse the lava tile, so the closest unit of mine to her was Air. Whereas Triandra can fly, so she could traverse the lava tile. So the closest unit of mine to Triandra was Sita. And so Tethys was actually further away from my team than Triandra was. So that was kind of nuts. After that, it's mostly cleanup. You can see that I kind of got a little thrown off by Ula not being able to take out the Niffle, not being fast enough to double. But my harmonized Sita was, so that was no real issue. Yeah, not a whole lot to say about this map. I just kind of blocked off the Triandra from hitting anybody she might be able to KO, and grab the Aether Structures before finishing the map.
Certainly. What next? What can I do? Let's go.